Justice League characters as dragons is an episode I have been promising would happen for ages. After I did a whole bunch of Marvel characters as dragons episodes, people naturally wanted a DC equivalent. It's like when I did the Justice League Transformers episodes and people started asking for Avengers Transformers. That's another thing that I promise I'm gonna get to at some point. But anyway, I just wanted a good excuse to make this video, you know? So with Wonder Woman 1984 coming out a week from the day that I'm posting this, I think that's a perfect excuse to finally do Justice League characters as dragons. So I'm gonna do the usual PopCross Studios shtick of take some awesome superheroes and redesign them into dragons and write some lore for what these dragons would be like out in the wild. It takes place in the same world as all my other dragon episodes, narrated by the same usual character, who I've started planning a story for, by the way. And honestly, I've done the art already. I think it's one of the top dragon episodes so far. If you're excited to have dragon videos back after a bit of a hiatus, hitting the like button is genuinely super helpful for YouTube algorithm reasons. And if you're new here, you may want to subscribe because there's sure to be more monsters, dragons, and beasts in the near future. One of my favorite things to draw. Anyway, no more delay, dragon time, let's go! Most of the dragons we'll be looking at today are miraculously powerful, to the point that some consider them to be godly beings. They have incredible strength and at times seem near invulnerable. The first dragon, however, is nothing like that. It's not incredibly strong or impervious, but is still regarded by some to be on par with the fortitude of these other dragons for its incredible cunning and intelligence. This dragon is the bat-winged night wyvern. Only growing to about 30 feet in length and possessing few natural defenses, these dragons appear to be easy prey for other beasts. But anytime a new creature finds itself in their region, these dragons will spend the next few days stalking their potential adversary and seemingly studying them and their strengths and abilities. Because these wyverns come out only at night and camouflage into the darkness, they have an easy time remaining unseen while they investigate. As an example of this, I was hugely fortunate to observe a scenario and chronicle it in which a scorched nightmare, a dragon we've discussed before, had wandered into the night wyvern's territory. The batwing spent 3 nights observing all the creature's movements. It watched it take down other animals, using its noxious breath to discombobulate them, and its oversized right claw to finish them off. On the 4th night, the night wyvern made its move. It had rubbed dirt into its nose to plug it from the gas, and its very first strike was to bite straight through the Scorched Nightmare's right arm, incapacitating its best weapon. From there, well, the Nightmare was a larger, more vicious dragon, the Batwing took it down in under a minute. These beasts may not be the most physically imposing dragons, but as far as I've explored, no other beasts can compare when it comes to preparing and executing a strategic attack. Now, in studying some DC costumes to get my initial ideas for this video, one thing I was reminded of is how DC characters, when they were updated for newer comics, but mostly for the newest movies, instead of being given more detail to their suits, like Marvel characters kind of were, instead they were kind of just given more texture. So I decided to lean into that with the designs of my dragons in this video, and just texture up some simpler dragon designs, and especially for this first one, I really like how that turned out. I added some veiny texture to the wings because in looking at some images of bats, I saw that you could see the veins through bats' wings kind of easily, and I thought that would make this creature both more textured and a little cooler and more imposing. I might have made this one look a little bit too mean for a superhero, but I mean, Batman's a pretty scary kind of guy to anyone who goes up against him, so it kind of fits. Really happy with this first one, hope you all like it as well. Here is our Batman Dragon. Next, we have a dragon from the Grecian Isles. This species is powerful, graceful, and, most unusually, all-female. The Royal Amazonian Truthseer is a species of exclusively female dragons who live for centuries. Many of them remain on a small island off the coast, but they have been found to venture off and explore lands and towns along the shoreline. These creatures are naturally protective of those in need. If they come across a person or creature clearly being hunted by a larger predator, they'll intervene to help the prey escape. Some believe this is because they are noble, and others simply think they enjoy a good excuse for a fight against a larger foe. Regardless, this trait has led those who live along the shorelines of Greece to greatly respect and appreciate these dragons. Now, much of these dragons' hide is incredibly thick and durable, but most so is the armored coating on their foreheads and forearms. This part of their hide is completely impervious to damage, and when these dragons hit these pads together, they emit a thundering sound wave that can seriously disorient foes. The final and possibly most interesting trait about these beasts is built into their name, Truthseers. Well, strangely this has been seen to only affect humans. The pheromones these dragons emit causes anyone who breathes it for more than a moment to be forced to speak the truth. It is still unclear what this biological effect is used for in nature, but the side effect, if nothing else, can cause some very candid and entertaining conversations between people after being rescued by these incredible creatures. Now with Wonder Woman here, I also went with a pretty simple design again. The wings that I ended up putting on this one are inspired by the Golden Eagle armor that she's gonna have in Wonder Woman 1984, although I think I remember reading that they changed the name of the armor wings that she's wearing in that to something else for the movie. Can't remember what it is at the moment. But yeah, for this one, for the pose, I wanted to make it look noble and stoic and proud because it's a royal kind of dragon. With this one, like with my Loki dragon design from ages ago, I worked in some armored parts that I look at afterwards and I go, those don't really look like they would happen biologically. I guess even sort of the wings don't totally feel like they fit this dragon. But overall, I don't really mind because I like the design enough and I like how the rendering turned out. I like the sheen and shine on the wings. So it's not my favorite design of this episode, but overall I am pretty happy with how it turned out. Jumping in to say that, as usual, all the dragons from this episode will be available as posters on my Teespring store. In fact, by the time you're watching this, they should be available in a little bar underneath this video. But I'll also leave a link in the description to my full Teespring store so you can see all the dragons that I've got available. And if you want to practice coloring some of my dragons and beasts, I made a pack of 36 of my different dragons, beasts, and monsters inks that you can buy on my Teespring store for $4 and color in whatever digital software you want, or print them off and color them with traditional mediums. That too should be available in the little bar under this video. Anyway, sorry for the interruption, let's get back into the next dragon with Aquaman. Now, in my time studying beasts and creatures, I have only been able to observe a few sea-dwelling dragons. But the one we look at today is by far the most powerful of these. The Atlantean ocean drake is a 60-foot sea monster that, so far as I can tell, spends most of its time so far beneath the sea that if it chose, could spend its entire life completely out of the gaze of human eyes. But one thing does cause these beasts to surface: humans dumping things in their watery home. There are occasionally times when sailors or pirates will want to dispose of something in a place nobody could find it, and these ocean drakes take offense to that. Atlanteans will hunt down any ship that tries to abandon their junk in the seas, but they won't often kill those they hunt. Instead, they'll simply destroy their ships and leave their foes stranded. This naturally creates more debris left in the ocean and seems to null the point of the hunt in the first place, leading me to determine that these creatures are largely irrational and act on instinct more than reason. They also seemingly have the ability to communicate with, or even control, other sea life. When attacking a particularly large fleet, it's been reported that other sea life will rally around these dragons and aid them in the destruction of ships. It was once even seen that an Atlantean ocean drake got a calamitous squid to do its dirty work for it. These dragons get part of their name from the theory, which I consider outlandish, that these dragons reside in the lost city of Atlantis. Some even believe these dragons to be the cursed residents of the city turned into dragons for all eternity as punishment for some slight against the gods. But regardless of what you believe of their origins, these dragons are the truest protectors of the deep, and so long as you respect their vast home, you should be safe from their wrath. Now, I was super excited to be doing another ocean dragon because I think my favorite dragon that I've ever drawn on this channel was the Riptide ocean drake when I was turning Ripjaws from Ben 10 into a dragon, which, by the way, that one hadn't been on my online store, but I think I've finally gotten it up after some technical difficulties that I don't really need to get into. But anyway, I knew this one would have similarities to that dragon, so to kick it off being at least different in some way, I wanted to have a very different pose. So I decided to have this dragon kind of diving up out of the water, its tail's out in the background a bit. It would have been cool if I could have it pouncing on a ship or something, like a smaller ship, but there was no way I was going to have time to render out a whole ship, so it kind of just looks like it's diving and pouncing onto nothing, but I'm still pretty happy with this pose, and I think the rendering turned out really cool. Tried to make it a bit glossier looking because it would be wet. And overall, while I guess it's not the most dragon-y looking, I'm really happy with how this beastie turned out. Finally for today, we look at possibly the most powerful dragon in all existence. Some come close to its power, such as the Titan of Death, and the mighty Ultra Beast, and the Bald Fist Swinger, who, we haven't discussed that one yet. Remind me to get back to it at some point. But anyway, these creatures all certainly could hold their own against this next dragon, but at full power on a bright, sunny day, nothing seems to be able to take down this noble creature. The superior sky dragon spends much of its time circling the Earth from above, drawing energy from the sun and watching over the events of the Earth below. Their vision is miraculous, and they can spot a human on the move from 40,000 feet up. They also have incredible hearing and will often respond to sounds of great distress. These dragons seem to crave peace. They're known to soar down to battlegrounds and try to separate warring armies. Of course, this will often lead to the armies attacking the dragon, but they'll rarely be fazed by this, as they seem to have impenetrable skin. In cases where they do need to fight back though, they have amazing combat capabilities. Not only are they extremely fast flyers, barely visible to the naked eye, they have immense strength and can breathe both fire and ice beams. There's only one rumored way to defeat one of these dragons, and that is with an enchanted green stone, allegedly created by the fabled warlock Lutharios. But proof of these tales and this so-called magic stone have never been even close to proven. Simply myths told by people with overactive imaginations, if you ask me. Luckily for us, though, humans would have no reason to want to kill these majestic creatures in most cases, as it seems they only wish the best for humankind and for the other beasts of this world. Now, in most cases, when I design a big, bulky sort of dragon, I don't end up loving how it looks. I wasn't a huge fan of my All Might dragon, which was the mighty Ultra Beast. Like, it was okay, but I didn't love it. My Colossus Dragon, I was kind of meh. But this one, I do really love. And I think it's because I spent more time on the texturing and rendering instead of making it more detailed. I do think this dragon could have used a little bit more detail, maybe on the shoulders and upper arms a little bit, but overall, I just really love how the rendering turns out on this one. Because it's Superman, I was trying to make this one look more friendly and positive. Maybe it ends up being a little bit too cute, but overall I'm super happy with it, and my favorite little subtle detail is that I made the pad on the bottom of its foot in the shape of the Superman logo. But yeah, super happy with the final result. Once more, I hope you all like it as well. Here's our Superman dragon. There we have it, I've finally done a Justice League Dragons episode. I think I rank this in as the third best Dragon episode so far. The first My Hero Academia Dragons episode and the Ben 10 Dragons episode are definitely my top two, but I really like how these ones turned out, so this probably takes third place. If you are new to the channel, I've got a ton of Dragon episodes, as made obvious from all the other Dragon episodes I've talked about in this video. Done a bunch of Marvel ones, My Hero Academia ones, Ben 10, horror movie icons, and I've just got tons of Beasts episodes on this channel in general. But anyway, everybody, that's all for today. I'm Christian Pearson. This has been PopCross Studios, home of the Nerdy Start videos on YouTube. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next video on Monday. Goodbye, everyone.